Targum Ruth, Chapter 1, Verse 1, the second part. In this video, I'd like to talk about a dynamic we had introduced in the introductory video, which is, you see the beginning of verse 1 in Hebrew on the left, and then a word-for-word translation in Targum Ruth on the right. And then the second part of the verse is in blue, and you see right in the middle here in the Targum a vast expanse of addition. And of course, we're going to read that in a little bit. But in the previous video, we looked at the word-for-word rendition only. And there was a reason. So let's look now at the bottom of the BHS page. You see the text critical information here. The Gothic G is the Septuagint. The Gothic S is the Peshitta, standing for Syriac there. Now, Ruth is one of the books that also appears already in the BHQ. And so I want to show the text critical information in the BHQ for chapter 1, verse 1. You see it's much more extensive than what we had seen in the BHS, including T. Now, V would be the Vulgate, but you see the T, and here another T in the text critical information for verse 1. You see the Syriac actually placed in a Syriac font. So much more information provided in the text critical information for the BHQ. What's the T? It's the Targum. So the Targum is treated as a source of interesting text critical information for the book of Ruth. Now, why is that okay to do? Let me show you Alexander Sperber's fourth volume, where there are several of the writings Targums treated, including Ruth. And notice what it says here in just the table of contents, how he organized his presentation. Quellenscheidung, still possible. What he means is that you can separate out what's being translated from Hebrew and the additions in Chronicles and Ruth. But then we continue down with the remaining sections, and you see there's a fusing together of translation and midrash, and then finally complete midrash, according to the judgment of Alexander Sperber. But that brings us back right here to Ruth. We can see what came from the Hebrew, and we can see its interpretation in Aramaic as well as the additions. So that's what's going to be part of what makes Targum Ruth fascinating to read. So let's continue reading in Targum Ruth.